Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. And yeah, I'm back in the book. Oh, we about to deal with what you know about this guy. That's the Sphinx. For most people, but Herem Akhet, okay, is his real name. Or the Arabics call him Abu Hal, the Strangler, okay? And Father of Terror. So, what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Sphinx. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know spiritually is asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And two, Maya, be true. This is one of my favorite characters. Good story here. This is a history lesson that I don't know why I pulled it out, but I feel the need to put it down. So I learned it years ago. It's good information, some stuff that you might want to use if you're interested. Again, this is all teaching purpose. I'm in teaching mode. See the hat. So I'm teaching right now. That's the Sphinx. The Herem Akhet, the Great Sphinx. Kemet has long been regarded as the land of what? Many mysteries, but one of the most enigmatic structures which have baffled mankind throughout the ages is that statue that they call the Sphinx. Everything we use pretty much is named by the Greeks. Just to get a heads up, I'm not pleased with that, but everything they say has got to be official. You got to say it there by them. So the Sphinx ain't really the real name. The Herem Cat. Sorry, I just get like that. Sorry, but all right, here we go. But they call it the Sphinx. It is carved in stone out of one single mass. That was all a big mountain at one time. Okay, that's what they're telling you. Which was what? Which was formerly a part of the physical geography of the Giza Plateau. Those is mountains on the Giza Plateau, and they just carved it and shaped it into it. But it's symbolical. It's the first monument showing what? Man, beastly nature rising to consciousness by using this thing here, the most sophisticated machinery known to man, aka our mind, the brain. They broke the brain down better than anybody ever. I spent 30 years. I just figured out what they was doing. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But okay, if I just figured out, how many other people still ain't figured it out? I'm just trying to get them heads up. That's what it is. All right, let's go. So let's talk about this thing. But the Giza Plateau, where the Sphinx stares out, formerly part of the physical geography of the Giza Plateau. Yeah, all right. But the Sphinx stares out majestically toward what? The eastern horizon. They know the dating of this statue from what? The stars, the constellation in the star. We was in the constellation of Leo the lion. So they put him facing himself in the sky. As above, so below. The pyramids, we get to that next. I'm doing this before I get to the pyramids. That's why when they do this, I'm working our way to the pyramids. I got that for you too. We're doing a little Egyptian history now. I just keep walking you through right now. All right, no landmarks, concepts. But the Sphinx is the largest and the oldest monument ever sculptured from single rock. These are just tidbits, information that most people could care less about. So this is just lesson, life, education, if you're a historian buff or Egyptian fan. It is the head of a person, a man, and it's the body of a reclined lion. As late as the 18th dynasty CE, circa 1550 BCE, this monument was called Herem Akhet, translated Heru of the horizon. That's the sun that come up every day. And because it is in that constellation, he's looking at himself. So they duel each other. This is genius. But they was way ahead of us. Okay. Symbolically, metaphorically, they did stuff that we ain't figured out yet today. Still. Okay. So, but this monument is called Herem Akhet by us. Heru on the horizon. This name was a direct reference. It's a reason. Watch this. Everything we did for a reason. Direct reference to Heru. That's the spirit that's in me and you. That's the sun, nature, child of Asar and Aset. Asar, spirit, Aset is wisdom. We're the offspring of that. So we spiritual aspirants trying or surviving to be ourselves, to get back home, to get with our Father who's up in heaven. And at the foot, Herem Akhet faces the rising sun, and its strategic positioning at the foot of the Great Pyramid provides a clue to its symbolic meaning. Everything had a symbolic, aka esoteric or hidden meaning. The outward side, yeah, but the meaning of stuff, you see pyramid, you just see a pyramid. I use the Masonic sign. You see the compass in the square and the G in it. Don't have a clue what it means, but you recognize it when you see it. But those who involved know just what it means. That's esoteric meaning, okay? Hidden meaning in plain sight, all right? Everybody does it. In the words of your boy Trump, he got caught sharing insurance companies. He said, man, everybody do it. All right, but that's the concept. But this great stone statue, stands at 240 feet long and 66 feet high. It has a shoulder span of 38 feet, a head that is almost 14 feet wide, and a 7-foot smile. Herem Akhet represents a perfect blend of what? Art and architecture, mystery and magnificence. It is aesthetically integrates the essence of man and animal in such a way that it expresses the divine relationship between what? The two. They're showing you right there. This was ancient time. And we've been symbolically teaching the same philosophy, running around, going around. It's the same thing. Just let you know. But this is not your typical anthropomorphic statue. No, it's symbolic. Let me read it. All I got to do is read. I want to talk and tell and give, but no, I want to teach, but I'm going to read first. Symbolically, the body of the beast, aka the lion, the animal, nature, meaning your lower nature. We call it the ego, okay? We translate it a little different, but again, this is my dude. He's doing it his way, and I ain't got a problem with that, and he's still on point. So I'm saying, what he said, lower nature, beastly nature. We say that too. I tell you, if you want them on the 3rd level, that's just the beastly nature. You ain't did nothing. You need to get the 4th level on the chakras, okay? 7 levels, and the 3rd is the beastly nature, ego. The 4th is when you start having compassion, empathy for somebody other than yourself. But they're showing you the body of a beast. That's your power, okay, of the lion, which exists in man. And it exemplifies, the lion part exemplifies royalty of what? Power, from where the divine spirit that exists in its what? Lower physical form also. The lion is royal animal in physical form, period. So metaphorically, you go from physical royalty to mental royalty in one swoop in yourself. The head of a man symbolizes what? The intelligence of the mind. That's the gift that God gave all of us, this thing we call the mind. The most sophisticated piece of machinery ever known to man. I'm just trying to teach you how to use it by thinking right. That's the option, or that's what they taught from our ancients. I know that. That's where I got it from. That's what this does. Which most your mind must be what? Cultivated, enlightened, educated. I study on a regular basis daily. In order to what? Elevate one's what? Consciousness. I'm conscious of who I am. Into what? Your higher spiritual state, aka knowledge of self. Know thyself. Nihas. That it may what? It may become divine. Consciously. You gotta become God conscious. That's what makes you divine. Why now you become one with God. He represents divinity. Metaphorically speaking, it is the suppression of your lower animal nature and the refinement of the thought process that leads to spiritual enlightenment, the evolution of man. Our goal to what? Know ourselves. We didn't come here just to hang out and party. No, it's the purpose that the spiritual beings come here for the test. Human experience. A lot of us get caught up in the test and wonder why we fail. Why? You ain't learning. You just testing. You just living. Okay? There's things that you have to do. But spiritually, okay, speaking, here we go. It is only by what? Conquering, you ready? Your beastly, aka ego nature within you. Devil, get behind me. That's you telling the ego, get out of, you ain't need to be in the driver's seat. Get behind me. I'll use you when I need you. That's servitude position. If he's in front of you, he's in the driving position. That means you're the servant. A lot of us are victim of our own ego and don't even know it, which is part of what? Learning, understanding. If you're all these bad qualities, then you're ego driven. That ain't hard to figure out. So you got to conquer. I keep telling you all the time, that's the conquering, the beast within you. Why? That one is now able to truly know God. The ego don't give a damn about God. Okay, it done edge God out. It thinks it's God. As y'all call it, the demiurge. Okay, he's substituting for God because you don't know no better. We are being led. Y'all religious people, y'all led by God who really the devil. Y'all don't know that. Only the enlightened ones do. Those who follow it, they don't see it that way. I'm telling you, that's what self-knowledge and mastery would do for you. Get you to see things clearly, not just believe what somebody said because everybody doing it. Don't mean a damn thing to me. Moving on. That's why everybody what? Reincarnating. Ain't many of us going home. Why? We ain't figured this damn thing out yet. I'm trying to help. When I'm done, I know someone behind me, somebody's doing this, but mine is bye-bye. This is a one-shot deal. Get it while you can. That's all. All right. But again, self-knowledge comes from enlightenment, gaining knowledge. Light is good, God, which vanishes what? The darkness. If you're ignorant of anything, you gain knowledge of it. That takes away the darkness and the ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing. That's all. You can solve the ignorant problem. Ignorance, again, evil, the devil, y'all call it that. I'd say the ego. Simple. Why? It doesn't edge God out. The devil is opposition to God. Same thing. Edge him out, opposition, same thing. So I'm trying to tell you, don't get caught up in the semantics. Get understand it and then put it to use. Moving on. So whether you do it with the ignorant devil concept or the ignorant knowledge and ignorant concept, either one, just understand. And Haru, again, represents what? Your conquest of what? Good over evil. Haru over Satan, the devil. All right. And over evil. Why? Because he faces the eastern horizon, and it is, oh, excuse me, I missed the whole lesson here. Haru represents the conquest of good over evil, light over dark, okay? Good over bad. And Herem Akhet exemplifies the eternal conquest itself of what? Good over evil. Why? Because he faces the eastern horizon and is physically enlightened, knowing his place, knowing his position, and by the sun as it what rises each morning. He's there watching the sun come up. The Sphinx have been called the soul of Egypt by Zahu Hawass the director of Egyptian Antiquities Organization. But in order to really understand the depth of its soul, you must go back to the Kemetic roots. A simple analysis of the names that the foreigners have used to describe our statue. That's the part I got a problem with. It's ours. The name that we tell you, it should be the name that you call it. No. The Greeks, they described the statue and help to explain how what? They misinterpreted. It's bad enough that you're going to not adhere to what we say, then you're going to misinterpret it and change everything. Now that means everything is wrong. Why? Because you misinterpret the true concept of what we're doing. The names, Harut, Asar, I said, if you change the names, the meaning is something different. Osiris, that ain't Asar. Isis, that ain't Aset. Horus, that ain't Harut. That's y'all's idea of them. Again, that's why I want to make that clear. And it tells you they misunderstood its spiritual meaning. Why? Because even the Arabic Sphinx is called Abu Hal, which means father of terror. They were scared to death of that thing. I'm about to get to that in a minute. Why? Why were they scared of the Sphinx? You'll find out. This concept was derived, again, where? From the Greeks. The word Sphinx, which means in the Greek concept, means strangler. Okay? We said father of terror. They called him the strangler. So already we get negative connotations about the Sphinx. All right. Now in Greek mythology, again, the Greeks is perverse. They had a problem with women. From my breakdown, this perfect example, they didn't think much of women. And when a man don't think much of a woman, he got some issues. Okay? The Greek mythology, the Sphinx was a winged monster, okay, with a lion's body and the head and breast of a woman. Now, I don't have a problem with that from that because that's a concept and that's okay. But in the Egyptian, the woman, the fierce Sekhmet, had hoodoo. If God send them at you, it's a wrap. So I get that women, hell have no fear like a woman's going. You don't want to piss off a woman. Anybody who had one would know that. But again, old sayings don't get old. They're not true. But they're showing you how they felt about women. That's what they're trying to put that in. Watch this. This beast was perched upon the rock near Thebes in Greece, not Kemet. He asked the riddle for everybody who passed by going into Greek, not Kemet. They're showing you right there, telling you that. And it would ask the riddle to every passerby. Why would it do that? It's a winged beast. It's a female. And if she don't get what she want, all those who were unable to answer her question, her riddle, correctly, giving her what she wanted, they were strangled by the Sphinx. That's why. This myth is also derived from what they call the tragedy of Oedipus Rex, which was written by a Greek playwright, Sophocles. The riddle asked by the Sphinx was this, and we still use it as an example. What has one voice and goes on 4 feet, on 2 feet, and on 3, but the more feet it goes on, the weaker it be? And nobody, but Tahuti answered it too also in our story, but this is the Greek story. So they got Oedipus, all right? So he was a fairly intelligent guy, intellectual. He didn't run around claiming his intellect and ragging about. No, when question put to him that nobody could answer, he stepped up. In the myth, Oedipus is traveling to Thebes from Greece when he is confronted by the Sphinx, who asks him, Oedipus, the question. And he answered real quick, man who crawls on all fours as a baby, then walks on 2 legs as an adult, and walks with a cane in old age and speaks with one voice. Having solved that riddle, what did the Sphinx do? He immediately committed suicide. How? By jumping off the cliff. And Oedipus continued on his journey on into Thebes, where he was later on proclaimed king for having outsmarted the great Sphinx, great beast. Mythological story. The question is, what's the plot? What's the meaning of the story? That's what you should be focusing on, okay? When a person is so hell-bent on what they think they is, how about they get frustrated and they take their own life if they don't get what they want? Self-destructive people. That's the ego. The Sphinx, ego-driven, obviously. But they put it in the female form. I tell you all the time, females got egos. Y'all ain't exempt from the ego. The devil working y'all too. He don't just pick men. No. So okay, but that was but having outsmarted the beast. This myth vividly illustrates how the Greeks borrowed, plagiarized, and then distorted the damn story of Kemet, along with their art, the symbolism, and the philosophy. I've been saying that. I've been knowing this since back then, and I still got a problem with the Greeks. Why? Because of that, y'all. Moving on. You get stuff wrong, and you won't even own and admit up to it. Like the Romans. Y'all got that immaculate conception thing. Y'all got that Christ died for 3 days. Y'all got that way wrong. It's symbolical. Y'all try to make it literal. That's when you drop the ball. Back then, we couldn't question it. Now, 2,000 years later, dude, no, that ain't happening. Simply that it couldn't happen. Well, no. I ain't got to believe shit. Excuse me. I ain't got to believe a damn thing. Scientifically, medically, it can't literally happen. So why should I just believe it? Moving on. I get out of that note. All right. But the myth illustrates how the Greeks borrowed everything and then misinterpreted it. But before the statue of Herem Akhet, there was no images of a human-headed lion or any animal in the world. What that mean? We started that. That's us. Anthropomorphic form. We showed you how it operates. The first monument right there. Okay, and people talking about, well, how old is the Sphinx? Over 10,000 years. Well, I know we thought. Don't ask the question, and then because you're ignorant, get the answer and you question the answer. That's being ignorant. That's being dumb, stupid, whatever. Why? You don't know something. I just enlightened you, and you question and enlighten. I'm the teacher. I know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking. And if you don't, you should shut up. If you got questions, I ain't got a problem with the question. But when I give you the answer, if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. So that's a little different. If I'm going to tell you something, I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking. If I don't, I would tell you I don't. Simple as that. And the story goes about Oedipus. And again, about having knowledge. But what it says here, since it's the creation, watch it. Now, before that statue, there was no other anthropomorphic forms from animal, beastie, man being connected. Anthropomorphism. But since its creation in Kemet, Sphinx have been found among what? A lot of places after that. It remains in ancient civilizations such as Assyria, Phoenicia, those of Asia Minor, as well as what as was the case with other nations. The Sphinx began to surface in Greece only after contact was made with the people of Kemet. They didn't have a clue either. Interestingly, when the Greeks created the statue similar in design to Herem Akhet, they defiled it by making it evil. Right there. Misinterpretation. We showing you how man go from BC nature to intellect, higher raised consciousness. How is that evil? But I just gave you all the breakdown what their concept was. Misinterpreted. See where it led to? Okay, now that was their story. And they sticking with it. They ain't gonna change it. We know now. No, they're not changing. Moving on. I'm sure of that. But it's interesting how they did that by making what? Evil and portraying it as female because of their low regard for women. The Greeks is punks. That's why the Spartans couldn't stand them. Why? Y'all boy lovers. They knew that. They talked about it, and the Spartans was the only one, but they did the same thing. I don't know what they called the kettle black. But my point with that deal, they was Macho Machisi. Oh, sorry. I love the 300. But they were showing bravery and manhood in that face of adversity in numbers that, listen, we know this is a kamikaze deal. We ain't going to make it out of here alive. So all those who want to live, you might want to go back now. And those who want to fight, they knew this was the last point. I respect any man who's going to stand up. If you're going to fight for something, die for something, die for a cause, die for a reason. And my man said, don't worry, we live on forever in history. Rumored. Okay, they'll talk about us forever. If that's what you want, have at it. I don't need that kind of publicity. I want to live to be. This little beard ain't going worth a damn. I want to get an old white beard, a long beard. So, all right, another interesting element. I see the clock. Let me write this up. All right, the element in concept was the concept of what we call stolen legacy. I got that coming up too. What we mean by stolen legacy, they took everything that we did, represented, taught to them, flip it, and gave it back to us as if it was theirs. So understand that. Let me get that out the way. Stolen legacy of ancient Kemet. It is close proximity to what? To monstrous Sphinx of the Greek city of Thebes. It was pretty much close by. Thebes was an ancient city of, was it Boeotia, a region in central Greece, watch this, which was founded by Phoenician king black people, Cadmus, around 500 BCE. And 1,500 years earlier, the capital was Kemet, was located in the city we called it Waset. The Greeks came in, which was regarded to as what? Waset was regarded as the greatest city ever. Waset, which was regarded as the greatest city in the richest and the most powerful and spiritual nation of the ancient world. We had every base covered. Watch this. The Greeks later, renamed the city Thebes. That's what we call it today. Not Waset. Okay, Thebes. The Greeks derived the name Thebes from the African word Akhet or Apet, A-P-E-T or I-P-E-T. The A, I, and the E in Egyptian all pretty much sound the same sound, pretty much. But which was the original name of the temple incarnate of Waset. The biggest and most magnificent temple was the Karnak temple. But the Greeks then added a feminine prefix to Apet, which became Tapet. All the women names ended with a T. So they took it and flipped it and called it Tapet, from which they then derived Thebai, Thebai, which later became Thebes. See, the A and the I are pretty much synonymous. And within Waset, there existed two magnificent temples, the Shemyati Apet, the Luxor temple, and Epit Asut, the Karnak temple. The two temples were connected by an avenue, of 2,000 Sphinx lined up, spanning a distance of 2 miles of nothing but Sphinx heads. Homer, the Greek poet, praised the glory of this great city in his book wrote by him, the Iliad, in 750 BCE, and referred to it as the 100-gated city. Historically, data shows that the Greeks visited Waset and renamed this great city Thebes. They later built a city in Greece, which they named Thebes. Well, they should have did that the first time, left us the hell alone. Sorry, let me get that out. And associated the Sphinx with it. The likelihood that the Greeks developed these associations independent of any direct contact with Kemet is totally preposterous. Everything they did, they got from us. We know that, and it's been shown everything they do. That's the lesson. Didn't want to take up much of your time, but I want to get that out. That's to the history of the Sphinx. Oh, we know it as Herem. Y'all know it as the Sphinx. I know the real name. I got some more history about my boys in Egypt. We're going to hit the pyramids in a minute. I'll be right back. In closing, right thing, because, man, you all did to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I've never known my right thinkers who now know more about Akhet who passed away. And watch them Greeks.